Hey there everyone, this is Jeremy, the Music Andy, and we're here today to talk about Unlimited Love from Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is studio album number 12 for the boys from Los Angeles, California. This has the original lineup coming together once again. We got Anthony, we got John, we got Chad, and we definitely got Flea on this album. Kiedis calls this new lineup a shot of plasma, a much needed shot of plasma. I think that is a very funny way to describe the band getting back together. I understand that plasma helps accelerate healing process, and it's definitely something that I'm going to need from the last few attempts from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I definitely did not fall in love with a lot of the tracks on the old ones. Them rotating members and just bringing in a whole new cast to try to save a band that really didn't need much saving because it just wasn't that good ever since the, early 2000s, 90s stuff, to be honest with you. And you know what? If Anthony wants to push everything aside and he wants to call this a shot of plasma in the arm, you know what? Let me get rid of all of my biasism from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Let's put aside those last few albums that just kind of stunk and they really didn't have any originality to them. And let's focus on this new album from them with Unlimited Love. 17 tracks. The boys got together and they put together 17 tracks, and it is over an hour and 13 minutes in length. I did multiple listens on this one. I probably have heard 85 Chili Pepper songs over the last span of 6 hours. I definitely have some thoughts to say on this one. I'm not going to be going through this one track by track. There's 17 tracks. It's just too much Chili Pepper talk for me. So we'll be focusing on the key standout ones, and let's just get right into this. This is an album that's mainly playing with some alternative rock features on it, but for the most part it's going to be a funk, groove-centered kind of track. The instrumentation on this one can feel very reserved at times. I feel that John coming back was going to have a spark, kind of connect these guys and bring back some old synergy and some very unique riffs and everything like that. But for the most part, it seems that they're playing it kind of safe on this album. Anthony's doing his half rapping, half singing, his, kid rock, slews rather, and he's going to be kind of sticking to that for the most part. He is going to have some moments of trying to create some melody, some soulfulness on the tracks, but for the most part, it is going to be just the kind of standard Chili Pepper stuff, but a lot more reserved. I feel like everything that's kind of going on in this album feels a lot tighter. It feels like they're compressing things a lot more. The sound isn't really kind of blowing out. There's no dynamics really happening. Again, it's just tight, it's reserved, and it's just kind of lacking personality for the most part. Aquatic Mouth Dance is a track that I felt had a very good vibe to it, had a nice groove on it. The bass on it was kind of forefront and it was kind of carrying everything. No surprise from Flea, to be honest with you. He's probably the last remaining member on this one that is still very technically gifted, but the band at times on this album are going to reserve Flea a lot, which I don't think that they should have done. And not just sticking on Flea on this track, but everybody on this one kind of finds their role on this track and kind of does a good job of sticking to it and delivering when they need to deliver on it. Even Anthony doesn't sound half bad, and that is a high compliment. There's a section on this track that horns come in, they really excite me. The layering on this one gets a little bit deeper. I mean, just a quarter-inch deeper, but it's still nice enough. I think that the use of the horns is great. And the ending section with the little freak-out section is great, mainly for the part that Anthony gets kicked off of this. And I did say that he did sound all right on this one, but it does sound a lot better when he's not there. It's Only Natural has a great startup bass line on it. And the moments that John is playing lead guitar, not rhythm guitar, but the lead guitar moments are very interesting to me as a listener and as a guitar player too. I think that he does a great job of kind of playing with tones that he's not really known for. I don't really ever hear him playing with delay like this, maybe on some of his solo stuff and everything like that, but with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, not so much. I think the techniques that he's using are very impressive. He's got vibratos that remind me a lot of Modest Mouse. Slides up and down. He's using good use of the delay, kind of using hammer-ons and pull-offs to play along with it. Again, everything just feels kind of nice. It feels organic. It feels like a nice, organic solo piece from John. White Braids in Pillow Chair is another track that kind of catches my attention. I think it has some nice verses on this. Anthony doesn't sound half bad doing his little rapping on these verses. I think that the hook on him is god-awful on this one. I think that the guitar on the hook isn't very good either, but again, during these verse moments, I feel like they have kind of a nice groove going on. I think it's kind of interesting the way that it's being built. The chords are nice on it. Again, going back to Anthony, he may be rapping kind of nice on this one, but this is going to stick for all of the album, not just on this track, but the lyrics are terrible on this one. And again, for most of this album, it's going to be Red Hot Chili Peppers. You're going to have a few things to talk about. One of them is going to be girls. Another one's going to be how horny Anthony is for girls. And then number 3 is him going a step further and telling the girls about how horny he is and what he wants to do to them. Then the last track that I really was feeling something on this one is One Way Traffic. I think it has some great guitars on this one. I think that once Flea just gets let loose on this track, he really starts adding to it, and it has some, organic rock feeling moments to it, which is not something that really happens on this album too much. And then again, I think that Anthony, vocals terrible, lyrics are terrible. Now to some other noticeable tracks that I didn't really like so much, but they still at least stick out a little bit, is the first one, Black Summer, has the band kind of trying to return to their early 2000s, 90s tones. But they're getting the tones right and they're getting the feeling right vocally, instrumentally, but there's no personality to the instruments that are being played. It feels like for the most part, they're just kind of sticking to the basics, and they're maybe just cranking the volume from 5 to 6. Anthony on this one, we know how I feel about Anthony at this point. Here Ever After had some really solid jam session points at it, especially at the end of this track. And it just left me wanting this album just to be a jam session between Chad, John, and Flea, to be honest with you. Maybe they could have told Anthony to grab like a tambourine or some kind of percussive instrument to add to it a little bit more, but man, it really just makes it that when Anthony's cut out of the track, it feels like there's a lot of synergy still left in these guys at moments. Poster Child is one of the songs that was kind of hyped up on this one, and it might be one of the worst tracks from Anthony on this one. I think that his vocals on this one, the lyrics about him being a rock star, and kind of lamenting it, and then going to the person and say, I'll be your poster child for the night, la ba ba da 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 dee dum. Man, it's bad. She's a Lover, which has such fantastic lines of, if you need me, just wake me up and squeeze me. Some very daring lines from Anthony on this one. Might be some of his best lyrics on this entire album. Is he going to talk about how horny he is? Oh, he's talking about how much he wants to lick your face. That's fantastic. Thank you, Anthony. What You Thinking instrumentally has some really nice progressions on this one. It has some organic rock moments. There's some nice dynamic balancing to this. They eventually kind of reach some boiling points that actually deserve to be there. And then we got Anthony talking about like water buffaloes and being a crazy horse, and honestly, I'm just scared at this point. Now I can go through this entire album, but the words coming out of my mouth are all going to be the same, just like Anthony is on this entire album. The instrumentation varies from having some solid, standard, basic tracks to kind of spaced out and filler for Anthony to kind of sprawl all over, and then having some moments that could progress into something very interesting but get cut down due to just the songwriting nature of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Things are very notable. They're very time sensitive. We're going to play this verse for 50 seconds, and then we're going to switch, and then we're going to switch, and then we're going to switch. There's nothing organic making these switches happen. They're just switches because it's time, not because it feels like it's time. Again, there were moments that engaged me as a listener, but they didn't happen very often. If you are a fan of this album, none of this review has anything against you. If you want to listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers, that's fine. My problem is with one man and one man only, and that is Anthony Kiedis. With that being said, I'm going to go 4.8 green bell peppers out of 10 on this one. What did you think of this album? What albums would you like me to review in the future? Please leave a comment below and let me know. Subscribe if you like the content, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Anthony, I hope that you have a nice day too. I can't even say it.